everyone, it's me, Reconnect Shadows. This is the video that I was saying I was going to maybe do, because I thought I'd have a little bit of time to dwell on it. When me and my best mate went to go and see the series finale of season 2 of Doctor Who, the Reality War episode. Um, uh, keep it fairly short and sweet because fairly certain a lot of other YouTubers have already covered a lot of it and said mostly the same things that I'm probably going to just be echoing. But yeah. So yeah, here's the thing. I enjoyed it, especially for in the moment. There will be some more spoilery things that we'll be saying here and there. So I'm gonna have a few seconds here of just repeating this. There will be spoilers. There will be spoilers. There will be vague spoilers, but there will be spoilers nonetheless. So if you are still wanting to watch this with your own opinions and nothing changing your view on it, then I highly suggest you go and watch it first before watching any review, including this one. Moving forward, though, even though I don't know if I've watched them in full or watched it when it was that time, like when I was younger or recently anyway, I haven't seen the episodes with Omega actually in them. But I've seen like clips and I've seen pictures. We'll get this out of the way first. Why did Omega need to be in this at all? Just my opinion. Uh, it just seemed that extra push that maybe didn't need to be there. I get that maybe it's to show, the Rani was that dead set on having their own way and using Comrade to help further this, that it that their vision got so corrupted and the character of Omega was so corrupted. But it just feels like a whole thing that happened with the situation with Sutek beforehand in the previous season. It except for this kind of feels worse because you could have just not had Omega. It could have just not worked, or it could have just Omega could have just not been used at all, and there would have been one less thing that people would have been complaining about, at least in my opinion, regardless. Um, so it'll be really strange if I don't at least talk about this as well, because otherwise people could potentially reply or comment, "Why didn't you talk about it?" Um, but again, um, if you've got this far, you already know there's spoilers in this. But we do in fact get a regeneration scene, um, granted, but in the credits they're not actually referenced as the new Doctor. I'm hesitant to think if we're going to get any new episodes with this actress at all anytime soon, or if they are going to be actually playing the Doctor. But it's very much implied anyway, because it just says introducing. But yeah, Billy Piper is going to be the Doctor, supposedly, from how it's shot and everything. But from what things have been said and shown online, this is very last minute. They weren't even on set. It was just like in a location, green screened, like what have you. Like there was no transition into the new person playing it traditional as it usually would have been. And a lot of people are echoing this, where they're like, do they really have to keep bringing nostalgia stuff back all the time? Forced my, never mind. I can see it. Like some people make some fun theories to try and make sense of it. Like, is it actually the Doctor, or is it like Bad Wolf from the past, forcing their way through, and it's a Bad Wolf Doctor? I mean, that could be a redeeming way for it. Or is it a bi regeneration again? That could be a way for it. Um, and then I'm also seeing people being like, why did it have to be like this? Like, to actually speak on bits from the episode. Some of it just made no sense, and reshoots and rewrites are quite apparent. Um, like, I'm talking about it with spoilers in mind, like I've already said and referenced. But like, um, I've only watched it once. It's when I watched it in the cinema. I'm not planning on watching it again anytime soon. But like, some of it just seemed very formulaic and like rushed about. Like there was a person, like a whole character where their whole arc was just, I'm keeping open this door so time doesn't go all crazy. Which, like, I guess cool. And then like we've got plot threads like, cool, we got the Jodie Whittaker's doctor comes back and we have a little scene with Shooty's doctor. But like now that I've thought about it and I've watched like some videos here and there, maybe it's because they wanted to save it or it just wasn't in the script. But couldn't that have just been Susan? That's just my thought on it. Then again, the actress for Susan, as far as I'm aware, is getting older. Maybe they don't want to be, and then they have the problem of changing the character. You've had people being like, "Can Susan regenerate?" Um, but yeah, I optimistic. I've to an extent like this has probably put a dampener on people on Doctor Who's future, which you can maybe understand. Uh, yeah, like I've even seen some videos where some people have been like that downhearted. They're like, maybe I'll just watch it to enjoy it and not be trying to look for things that aren't there. I was like, when it really comes down to it, sometimes things these days you just kind of have to look at it like that because if you pick things apart too much, you then realize me as the viewer enjoys it more than the person that wrote it quite clearly because otherwise they would have done a better job with it. So it's like, but then you have to keep in mind obviously that there was rewrites and reshoots for various reasons, even though they won't admit to that. 'Cause then that shows that there was things that were wrong and things that had to be changed. They're even like doubling back, saying even at one point you had actors and such. I think Shooty was even one of them when it was like, "Oh yeah, well, we're going to be shooting season 3 soon," which clearly they're not. Like he's not anyway. Um, Makes you wonder if they're going to be calling it season 3, if it's just going to be season 1, or maybe they'll like Confused Adipose has said, maybe they could and should go with the whole Doctor Who and give it like a subtitle. That could be a healthy way to go for it. I mean, I wouldn't blame them. I don't like the whole way they changed Belinda's character, but yet like they've sort of like defended it by going, "Oh yes, instead of her wanting to protect lives completely and that she's a nurse, what like we've just retconned the two have been a single mother this whole time." I'm like, I guess, like I don't hate it, but I don't like it either. um, uh, yeah, it's certainly. Oh yeah, and they didn't kill off the more updated version of the Rani. Oh wait, no, they did. They did do that. And then they killed off the older one. The older one escapes. Okay, so that one's still alive, but can they still regenerate? I'm leaning towards no, but we'll have to see if that even still gets remembered. And the one that was the younger one, technically speaking, gets eaten by Omega. And then the Doctor just sort of uses a Ghostbusters-esque weapon, which was the Vindication that he's had this whole time, to seal him back up. And that's it. That's how Omega gets gone. But yeah, the review of Reality War is um, is what it is. Like this whole reason why it's been a bit rambly is because this is how I felt now that I've gave it a bit of time to like settle and just like rest with it. Like it could be 2 to 4 years before we see anything more of Doctor Who. The budget could be very cut back depending on if it's BBC or if BBC managed to get like another company to continue it rather than Disney, because Disney very well might just back out of it. We'll see. But anyway, what do I rate it? Not very high. If I did my review just after, like I originally was going to, and then did this video after, you might have seen a more positive review, because I feel like because I was at the cinema, it was more heightened. I enjoyed it more without thinking too much about it. Another side note, after thinking about it, the whole Poppy thing wasn't much of a fan of it, and I felt that we don't see Susan. It was kind of like bait in a way, like you'd think, oh, we'd see Susan. No, we don't really at all. But yeah, going back to it, what do I rate it? Like 6.5 or something. Might have been like a generous 8, a very push. But yeah, like I rate it quite low, like maybe even 5, and maybe that's generous. But I enjoyed it for what it is, as Doctor Who content. Without if you really don't think about it too much, which I think they really hope you don't. I enjoyed it, but the more you think about it after you've watched it, the more you're like, oh, this is definitely where it changed. You can definitely tell there was supposed to be more than what there was. You can definitely tell he probably wasn't even going to be seen as regenerating to the point where you wouldn't see the person he's regenerating into. They're probably going to leave it, and then you'd see it if he wasn't continuing season 3. That was probably also something that was changed. You probably weren't even going to see that. So that was probably another change. Hell, I probably already said this, but I don't think he was going to be even regenerating, because I'm pretty sure he said at some point, oh, you're going to be shooting season 3 soon. He won't be. He might be back in it at some point, like we've seen other doctors, but yeah, regardless, that's where we'll leave it for today. I've been your mate Ryan, Iconic Shadows. Have you seen Doctor Who recently? Have you seen the newest episode, like I have, Reality War? Does it stick the landing? Not really, especially the more you sit on it and the more you think about it. Yeah. Just yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and see you later.